Welcome, dear viewer, to Feisty Chess. Just played a quick game tonight, really quick, so I'm going to play another one. And we're set up with Victorious 007 on LeeChess.com. We're playing a 10-5 game. And we've got an Alekhine Defense. I like to play the Alekhine Defense sometimes myself. What do I want to do against this? Stick with the main stuff. We're going to go e5. And then after knight d5, we're going to play d4. Okay. And we're going to go with, I think this is called the classical, but I just know it as the main stuff and the stuff that I don't want my opponent to play if I'm playing the Alekhine. So we're playing on recapturing on e5 with the knight, which is what we'll do. And I know the best move here that I know is c6 for black. Yep. Okay, now what is white supposed to do here? c4 might be a little... Is c4 good here? That's the question. He's got knight b4 at that point. Well, okay, I really should know this better. I'm going to bishop e2. I think this is a main idea. I'm just going to get castled before proceeding further. Okay, I know that g4 is an aggressive idea here. Let's do that. Let's be bold. I'm pretty sure that's a good idea here to make that bishop back off, and if he wants to back off to g6, that's one way to go about it. Ooh, f3 does not look pleasant. Maybe I've jumped the gun here. Bishop f3, and if he takes, I've got queen f3, and I'm hitting f7. Actually looks pretty good. I think. Also have knight takes f3 if needed. We'll look at that in a minute. Okay, queen f3. I'm worried about f6. Where does my knight go? Maybe c4? My queen's going to abandon d4 and c2 if I take with the queen. Seems kind of pointless to recapture with the knight, though. Queen takes f3, knight to b4, or f6, and then, again, the knight goes where? f6, knight, c4? That doesn't look very happy. I'm gonna swallow my pride and recapture in reverse with the knight. This g4 idea is not very sound. Okay. I've got ideas of just castling queen side, maybe. Knight d2 looks alright. Looks sensible. We're just going to develop, and any bishop check can be met with c3. Ooh, yeah, it can. Yeah. Alright, we're down on time already against an opening that I have started playing myself, so I should have a readier answer to Alekhine. I try different stuff. I haven't been playing it long enough to realize what I really don't want to see out of it. This allows me to gain a little bit of a tempo, possibly. Get this knight to e4. e4 or c4? I feel like e4. Okay, if I go c4 now, that gives me a nice big development advantage. He needs to take my bishop. We'll trade bishops. I think his bishop is better than mine, for sure. So c4, yeah, just takes control of some of the center and forces that issue, and I can get my rook into the game. So this seems like a big plus for me. His one developed piece after this will have to move. I won't be able to castle queenside anymore, but I think I'll be okay with that. Some pieces are coming off the board. I've got knights that can provide some shelter for my king over here on the king side. And, this g-pawn might actually make a good attacker if he castles kingside. Yeah, I think castling is my next order of business here. He's likely to go knight f4. Then I don't see a good way for... Okay, knight f4 would have been a little more challenging. He's hitting that pawn. I think a knight just back to e5 should shore that up. I also have g5 here. Is that worth it? I play knight e5. I still have g5 in reserve. Oh, he's hitting my other knight. Okay. Necessaries. Yeah, I think I need to take. Unless I can sack that pawn. Actually, leaving that pawn there, say something like knight c5, knight takes g4, and then rook g1. Yeah, I like the looks of that. So, yeah, let's just get our knight in here. If he goes b6, my knight doesn't have a whole lot of good options there, does it? I guess knight b3 is not terrible. I'd like to go knight g3, but then knight g4, knight takes g4 looks pretty good. All right, let's do this. Try to see some initiative. If he hits my knight here, I might strike back at his knight. Not sure about that. b6, g5, b takes c5, g takes f6, queen takes f6. I think that nets black a pawn. And my king side is looking very airy, actually. Not a fan there. So if he goes b6, I'll probably go knight d3. Yeah, knight d3 looks fine. My knight covers this other pawn. So knight d3, and that knight has a good future on either f4 or e5. We got two knights hitting e5. And again, I welcome knight takes g4, common sacrificial motif with a pawn on g4, especially for white. Even sometimes when this, you can't win it back immediately with this g file leading up to rook g1, even when this isn't available. So it is available now, and this kind of commits me to leaving my king in the center, doesn't it? Okay, well, you only live once. Okay, goes to h6. I think it's wise just to grab that. And now black's not going to be castling anytime soon either. He might just play rook g8, in which case I'll probably just trade rooks. Oh, I see the idea. Is he planning h5? Let's defend the pawn. Got to defend this guy here. If he hits me with h5, I might just play rook f4. Commit to it. Okay. Now looks like a great time to break things open. Maybe sack a pawn. I'm not sure about that. Okay. I think I like the look of just bringing a knight to e5 here. Giving my queen protection over that pawn. So my rook can stay on the g file. He doesn't have to worry about protecting this pawn. I think h5 would have been a more trying move there. Is it in my interest to go into an endgame? If he takes with the pawn, if he takes with knight takes e5 here, do I want to go pawn takes? Probably. I often find myself needing to go into an endgame just because I'm so much down on time. That appears to be what we have here. Probably the knight is better. This improves my knight. I'm going to take my chances here. I am hitting c6. So I've got some initiative. His knight on f5 is a pain of a piece. But so is my knight on e5, I suppose. Ooh, I like the looks of this. We're going to break through here. Oh, he could just castle queenside, huh? Play queen a4. That pins this pawn. Loosens up d4 quite a bit. d4 is not long for this world, though. Queen a4, he can also just castle queenside. Oh, I can't play d5 right now because his queen is on my knight. Of course. No, he can't castle queenside. Okay. I like queen a4. Things are feeling really loose right now. That is a good move. That I did not see. Can I just do this? And it's looking wild here. Things are getting wild. I've got to move that knight. Knight takes f7 looks like the only reasonable move here. I'm not sure it's so reasonable. Point is, I'm hitting this knight. I'm also hitting this rook. So it looks like he just needs to take the knight, at which point I take this. Okay, yeah, there's that check. There is that check. Okay, I should still be able to hold here. My knight covers e5. It's all very loose, but it seems to work. His knight can't come back to d4 with the check. And if he takes here, I've got queen check, and then I'm picking that knight back up. So we're going to be even on material by the skin of my teeth. I might have something better, though. I might have something better after queen check. So queen check, you'd have to go king e7, at which point I have a skewer on the queen. I could win that knight back with a rook fork on f4 alternately. So I like the looks of this. I think he's going to go queen takes knight. I suppose he could go b5. That's a really interesting option. I'd have to take, and then things look a lot different. Yeah, b5 is definitely the complicated way to go here. You could take with the king. And then I think I have nothing better than taking with my own king. My king looks even sillier than his. Huh. Rook there. Not something I'd consider. That's a clever move. I don't think that changes the equation though if I just go rook c3. I don't think it does. No, he's got knight a2. H takes h2 here. That might just lead me down a piece. Ooh, he missed this. The old backwards knight move. And I'm in the clear. I think black had a winning game there. I think knight takes a2. h2, sorry, because it hits my rook on g4 was pretty devastating. I think I'm just going down a piece and trying to get compensation for it at that point. But now I am instead up a queen for a knight. So let's just not screw this up, huh? Oh, that is a check. So, let's attack that knight. He's got to go knight d7, I think. At which point I have my choice between different tasty options. Probably queen takes c6. Yeah, I'll gladly take that pawn. Now knight d7 runs into b takes c6. Black looks pretty busted here. Well, that was true probably since queen e5, but I'm not seeing a lot of counterplay. I think he's losing more material. Yeah, and this kicks away the knight. If he moves it, well, the knight can come to b6. Okay. I think I have this check and then follow up with queen b3 if he goes king to f7. That looks pretty devastating. Okay. My internet connection is the one thing that might... Oh, God. I've left open. Oh, boy. I have... Oh, my gosh. Wow, he missed knight d4 check. That was... yeah, now he's, I think, just losing that knight. Ooh, not the best game here. Doesn't look like a game between players rated over 2100, that's for sure. That's the problem with getting in time trouble. I should have noticed knight d4. Okay, now once he goes rook, I've got c7, and that's curtains. Yeah, likely rook d8, and then following up with c7, and the rook can't guard the promotion square and the knight at the same time. Okay, let's have a look-see at this one. Wasn't my best game, and actually I got pretty lucky, I have to admit. So Alekhine's Defense. Let's get out the opening book. We're looking at the opening book here. Knight f3 is the main move in Masters. Bishop g4 is more popular, but he played d takes e5, and knight takes e5 is the main way to recapture. c6, main move. The point of this is that if this knight gets kicked away, it can come to b4, I think. Let's see, what happens if c4, the main move, knight to b4. He's not subject to these tricks of like having a check with queen a4, and then the knight has to come back, and then it gets killed with the d5 pawn push because it's pinned. So c6 stops that. It adds another defender to the knight, Also clears c7. On some lines, the knight needs to retreat to c7, strangely enough. Bishop e2, I found the main move here. Bishop f5. g4 is a move that's been tried, but it's not the real idea. So castling is the first main idea. Never did get that move in. So yeah, the computer here likes white, and after this, yeah, it still likes white. Okay, bishop e. Why is bishop e4 never played? Is there something obvious I missed? Bishop e4 looks completely natural, but I don't see it in these lines. f3. Okay, I should have stuck with my guns and gone with f3. The bishop comes to g6. I suppose h4? Yeah. Make him play something like weakening, like e6 or h6 or f6 or. Wow, e6 is the best line here. Yeah. So Black's lost his f pawn. He's captured away from the center. His rook isn't any close to developed. He'd much rather capture with the h pawn. So let's look. White is up a piece by the computer's evaluation here. c4, knight c7, queen c2. We're just going to target this soft spot, and the only way you can defend it is king f7. That's not worth it. So, what about f6? Knight takes g6. Now I've at least opened up the rook. Same kind of idea. c4, knight c7, queen d3. We're hitting that. Now it's safer to play king f7. But it still prefers white massively. It looks like the kind of position I would manage to... the kind of advantage I would manage to blow as white. Yeah, f3 would have been a little more principled, I suppose. I kind of disregarded that because I was worried about checks along this diagonal. My knight wouldn't be able to come back to f3. I suppose, and my bishop wouldn't be able to get to e3 very easily. But I suppose there's nothing to be concerned about there. I can just play king f1. Yeah, and actually h4 covers that as well with the rook. So yeah, f3. Bishop f3, yeah. Bishop takes f3. It does like queen takes f3. My timid knight takes f3 wasn't so good. I want to see these lines. Queen f3, f6, knight d3. I was worried about... oh, there's no knight b4 here because my knight covers that. Okay. But e5, really. D takes e5. Knight d7. It's a gambit. It's a gambit line. What if f takes? I can just get to e4 with my knight. Okay. I suppose this looks good for white. It starts to resemble some lines of the Caro-Kann here. I took with a knight. Queen to c8. White should immediately target that g-pawn. Okay, these aren't terrible moves. It does not like knight b to d7. Knight to d2. Likes the immediate c4. I suppose so. Yeah, I should play more forcefully with my pawns. That's what the Alekhine Defense. It's the main weakness is that white can gain so many tempos building up a pawn center, and we've seen two of those mistakes that I've made right now have been failing to do that. Kicking the bishop with f3, kicking the knight with c4. Okay, again, c4 is called for. I jump in here. Like bishop takes, and then queen d2. He has to come back with his knight. And I still get a development advantage that way. I really like what happened here, though. He likes knight takes f6. I just castle. Looks a little more pedestrian than what I tried. Okay, still hovering around white advantage territory. He goes for this. h5, trying to hang on to the knight, at least make me play h3. And knight h6. He went immediately for knight h6 and then knight f5. Oh, if he'd gotten h5 in, I wouldn't be able to come back and defend with rook g4. But actually, the computer doesn't want me to defend. It wants rook to g1. It's worth giving up that pawn, I guess. But I do defend the pawn, of course. That's natural. Ooh, it doesn't like that move. It likes queen e2. Not sure what the purpose of queen e2 is. Okay. Okay, knight takes e5. It's looking very drawish, according to the computer. Now queen f3 instead of queen a4. Ooh, knight takes d4, and I'm in real trouble. That is what happened. I can't take the knight because he grabs my knight and then grabs my rook the next move. So, yeah, this is all very, very ugly. So the difference with queen f3 is it hits c3, and it also eyes this, although I'm not sure. Okay, it allows me, it covers e4. So this tactic isn't here. If my queen were now on f3, for instance, I could simply take the knight, and then after queen takes knight check on e5, then I just bring rook back to e4. And I've got some kind of initiative here. Let's look at this. Queen here. Knight takes d4 is still the move. Queen, oh, I see. Right. This is similar to a tactic that happened in the game, because I hit f7 with the tempo on this rook. He's got this, but now it's simplified, and I'm just going to grab that knight. He can go here, I suppose. Ooh, but yeah, it's just equal materially. Slight advantage for white. If he saves, yeah, he's able to grab my knight. His knight is also lost. So okay, yeah, it's pretty equal. So queen a4, big mistake. Although it did seem to put some pressure on black. And the time scrambles like that, that's a big virtue. Finding knight f7. So king f7 gets him out of trouble because, again, he has this... I wasn't even seeing this. I saw it immediately, but I didn't see it after this point. He still has this. So king takes, and then queen a3, just to try to... Oh, that doesn't look like fun. Queen a3. Okay. Well, fortunately, that's not what happened. He decided to play this check, and at that point, now he's... Oh, okay, the computer still found some line that still wins for black. King e2, h5. I did like that move. I thought that was good. Yeah, knight takes h2. It's definitely the way to go here, but this obviously just drops a queen. Return the favor, but somehow black didn't capitalize on that. No, he didn't have knight. He didn't have knight to d4. I was completely hallucinating. I guess it's better to hallucinate. Hallucinating and seeing moves your opponent has that they don't is often way better than hallucinating and seeing moves your opponent you have. So yeah, I was not in danger here. Somehow I saw this fork, which would be nasty, right? I moved my king knight takes the queen, and I don't have time to save this rook either. I recapture the knight, and then I'm just down a whole rook. It's game over. But fortunately, the knight can't move like that because the knight is not on c6 or b5. It's on b6. So yeah, I was hallucinating there. But again, it's usually better to hallucinate in that way than it is to hallucinate in your favor. So yeah, the knight is pinned, and that's game over. So, all right. Probably I shouldn't play any more chess. I've gotten a couple of lucky wins tonight. So I'm going to call it. I'm going to pack it in, take my rating points, and go to bed. So thanks for watching. Take it easy, folks. Stay feisty.